Hello lovely people of the internet and welcome back to our channel. In this video I'm going to make a will-o'-the-wisp to boost my serotonin. My name is Katora and let's jump into it. To recreate this phantom of the bog, I'll be using a technique called spun cotton. This method has been around for a very long time. It originates from late Victorian era Germany. It was a popular method for making Christmas ornaments. For the armature, I will be using sculpture wire and jewelry wire. You could also use pipe cleaners and floral wire for this project. I start off by giving my will-o'-the-wisp its wispy shape with the sculpture wire. To bulk out the body, I'll be using aluminum foil. Also, for this project, I'm using materials I have in hand. I haven't gone out and purchased anything new. It's a little bit of a fuss around and find out video. I'm also trying out this technique for the first time to see if this technique has promise for a bigger project next summer. I'll be using the humble cotton ball for this project. I will start by unraveling it and gently pulling it apart. You might be asking, what is a will-o'-the-wisp? A will-o'-the-wisp is an apparition with a flickering light that appears floating above the ground. They enjoy tempting travelers off their path by resembling a flickering lantern. You can spot these specters in and around bogs and marshes. Then I will wrap it around the will-o'-the-wisp armature. Because I'm using wire and tinfoil for my armature base instead of pipe cleaners, I'll be using a little bit of Elmers all glue to secure it. With the base layer of the cotton applied, it's time to move on to the second round. I'll be taking some sewing thread and wrapping it around the base layer of cotton. By doing this, I'm hoping to accomplish pulling in the sculpture a little tighter so it looks less like a puffy cloud and more like a wispy apparition. Because I'm using the cotton ball, there is a little bit of pilling when I pull it apart into smaller strands. I don't think it'll make a big difference for what I am doing, but if you're trying this at home, I just want you to be aware of it. For the glue mixture, I'll be using Elmers all glue and water. I did 3 parts glue, 2 parts water for my mixture. For the final and detail layer, I will moisten it a little bit with the glue mixture, and then I will apply small pieces of the cotton to give my little guy some wispiness to his will-o'-the-wisp shape. While I'm adding more cotton to my little will-o'-the-wisp, I would like to take a moment and thank you so much for making this year's spooky season the best year so far for us. Because of all of you wonderful people out in the world, we did hit another milestone. We now have over 5,000 subs to our channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Patrick and I have a lot of fun things coming down the pipeline. I ended up having to cut off the longer arm I made out of aluminum foil. It was a little too bulky for my liking, so I made a new one with jewelry wire and then I wrapped it in cotton. adding a few final details to help suggest that this is a swirling entity before we move on to some painting. To paint my Spectre friend, I'll be using a limited colored palette. I'll be starting off the paint job with a watered down light yellow paint. In folklore, the will-o'-the-wisp is depicted as being bluish-green color, but I don't have a really good glow-in-the-dark blue paint, so I'm going to do a yellowish-green color. For the UV reactive and glow-in-the-dark paints, I'm going to be a little more selective where I place them on my wispy friend. For a little extra kick, I'm going to add fluorescent UV reactive paint for the highlights. For the base of the project, I'm going to use Epoxy Sculpt. I smushed it around a bit until I was happy. I used a sculpting tool with a ball end to add some texture to my rock base. Now that I have finished painting my little wispy friend, I'm not totally happy how it looks. I think it looks more of a flame instead of a smoky wispy tendril that I want it to be, so hopefully I can just give it a little shaping and I will be happier with the final look of my wisp. Now that I'm happy with my will-o'-the-wisp friend, it's time to finish painting the base. To paint the ground, I started with a medium brown, and then I did a wash of dark brown, and then I dry brush some light tan on top of it all. I would like to thank you again so much for watching this video and supporting this channel. Now let's check out the final reveal.